A former Army captain is among the latest charged in the deadly Capitol riot. Police say Gabriel Augustin Garcia was caught on video encouraging people to storm the building. At least 6 other people with military ties are under investigation by the FBI in connection with the attack, including at least 1 active duty soldier. Several others have been identified in news reports and on social media as well, prompting a vow earlier this week from Joe Biden's defense secretary nominee, retired 4-star General Lloyd Austin, to rid all military branches of racists and extremists.
The job of the Department of Defense is to keep America safe from our enemies. But we can't do that if some of those enemies lie within our own ranks.
If Austin's confirmed, he'll have his work cut out for him. A 2019 Military Times poll found that 36% of troops surveyed had seen evidence of white supremacist and racist ideologies in the military. It's up dramatically from 22% the year before. But perhaps a bigger problem, as retired Air Force Lieutenant General Jack Weinstein put it in an op-ed he co-wrote with a student, Lauren Labrique, back in June. The most powerful military in the world has no way of detecting if its own members are involved in the attempts to incite a race war and overthrow the U.S. government. Jack Weinstein is now an international security professor at BU, and he joins me. Thanks so much for being here. I appreciate it.
It's a pleasure to be here tonight.
Every line in your joint op-ed knocked my socks off. Let's start with, you said that white nationalist groups urge their members to join the military and then recruit members of the military back into their organization. Why?
The reason for that is what the military provides. The military provides weapons training. The military provides people on how to use explosives. And the military provides the discipline that these groups want for their members.
You know, you also said in that piece, the two of you, that military leaders, again, I had to read this line twice to make sure I didn't read it wrong, do not see white nationalism as a problem. This was in June, to which I said, really? And so I say to you, really?
Yeah, from the research that the student did and that as we were working on the op-ed together, being a member of a white nationalist group was not cause to remove people from the military. What was cause to remove people from the military was if they had actions dealing with the groups. Like you, we were appalled by this, and that's why we believe it's a cancer that needs to be eradicated from the military.
So when you say mere membership was not enough, you had to be an active member. So if you're a member of some white nationalist group and you're serving with a guy or a woman who happens to be of a group that is targeted by these white nationalists, military leadership thought that was okay as long as you didn't take overt action?
Well, I believe the problem is they didn't know that they had these members in their ranks. If you look at what happened earlier this week with the inauguration, members of a National Guard unit were removed when they found out that they were a member of these groups. So the aggressive nature that the military needs to take to remove these people just wasn't done. Now, I need to bring this up, too, to the audience. You know, we've had 4 years of a previous president, or let me say former president, that tolerated these behaviors. Remember the comments at Charlottesville, you know, that both sides had people. So for 4 years, we had individuals, and even when the Congress of the United States decided that they need to remove Confederate names from military bases, we had a president of the United States that was fighting that and vetoed the defense bill. So the bottom line on all this is we had a former president that put up with these people. And by the way, they were his supporters. We had members in the military that were membership. The numbers are extremely high that you're seeing. So it is really time now that we need to really eradicate them. And because of President Biden in the Oval Office, because of the Secretary of Defense nominee attacking this, we are now actually having this discussion about removing white nationalists when we did not have this discussion before January 20th.
Yeah, but I understand that. We didn't have this discussion, but I'm going to go back to you saying, you know, why didn't they do it? They didn't know. If I can read the Military Times poll, I assume they can read the Military Times poll. If they can figure out that they have to screen 225,000 members of the National Guard before yesterday, then I assume when 36% of the military, and I assume the number's higher, if 36% admit it, that they serve with people who have, maybe it's them, racist or extremist ideologies, they can screen members of the military too. So my conclusion is, please correct me if you disagree, that they knew it, but they just chose not to deal with it. Is that not fair?
I'm not going to go that far. As far as I will go is that they did not do the proper screening to remove these people from the military. There are things that you know when someone has a certain tattoo, you know when someone has behavior that needs to be removed, you even check bumper stickers on cars. But the only way you know there's a problem is if you investigate the problem. Now remember, if you go back to just yesterday and this week, based on, you can talk about the op-ed that we wrote, and we know this problem exists based on the 2 Military Times polls. We found out this week that we had members of a group that we did not know earlier. So the problem with the military is they have not been aggressive in doing this. There have been
Why have they not investigated? Why have they, if they don't know who the individuals are, but they know there's a massive problem based upon hard data? That's what I don't understand. Why didn't they do the investigation? Why didn't they do the screening? You don't buy the notion that it's because they didn't give a damn. Well, what other notion is there?
They were negligent. They did not care. That is my belief.
Okay.
So now we need to attack the issue, and we have people in charge now that will actually do it that weren't done. So I have some ideas, if we want to go through those, that I believe would be really helpful.
I have a minute
to do this.
Quickly, in a minute, give me those ideas as best you can, please.
Okay.
1 minute.
Number one, what we need to do is we need to search through social media everybody that is wearing the uniform. And if anyone that is found to be a member of the group, they should be removed. Number two, we need to be screening people before they come on active duty to make sure that they're a member of a group. And the third thing, which I think is almost the most important thing we need to do, is we need to give a feedback mechanism back to recruiters. And we need to figure out, do we have recruiters that are actually bringing people in that are white nationalists to the United States military? When you look at the way the United States military recruits, it is not equal to all 50 states. Therefore, we could have problems with recruiters in areas that are actually recruiting these people. I think if we can take those 3 subsets, we'll get ahead of this. But the most important thing that's happened is we have a new president of the United States, and we're going to have a new Secretary of Defense, and we could tackle these problems now.
I hope you're right on every count. Thanks so much. Really appreciate your time and your work.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure.